We are on the Saturday before the Congress, a very important Saturday, very faithful, which will determine what will happen with us in this Congress and all of us, the whole world's. Clee is deep in preparation for this enormous Congress, a Congress which is entirely there's none of besides him, coming up rapidly. We are beginning to feel this good pressure inside and we're ready to go to dive even deeper. So, now we have the opportunity to gather all of the world clean to go in through love of friends and discover that there is none else besides him. That's the mission that we've been tasked with, and we're going to succeed in that together. Because the Creator is with us and we have everything that the Kabbalists prepared for us, and we are now all of us ready and want to break through together. We want to be rewarded with a feeling, while engaging in Torah and commandments, that we are serving a great and important King, and that by this there will be love of the Creator within us, from feeling His exaltedness. However, all of our pleasure will come from serving the Creator. This will be our reward. It's not that He will somehow reward us for the work. Instead, we will feel that the work itself is the reward, and there is no greater reward in the world than the privilege of serving the Creator. Habash Article 13. What is the bread of an evil-eyed man in the work? Again, we want to be rewarded with feeling while engaging in Torah and commandments that we are serving a great and important King, and that by this there will be love of the Creator within us from feeling His exaltedness. However, all of our pleasure will come from serving the Creator. This will be our reward, and not that He will somehow reward us for the work. Instead, we will feel that the work itself is the reward, and there is no greater reward in the world than the privilege of serving the Creator. Okay, now we'll start an active workshop, how to use the last Saturday before the Congress in order to bring contentment to the creation. Again, how do we use the last Saturday before the Congress to bring contentment to the creation? Active workshop. We need to intensify our efforts to connect, to come closer together, to open our hearts to each other, so that this Saturday and the other days we have left before the Congress will be days in which we prepare ourselves to adhere to theirs, none else besides Him, to be rid of all things which can possibly distract us. We want to focus on the goal alone. And now this Saturday is an opportunity to dive into there is none else besides Him, one within the other. Yes, as we said in one of the lessons this week, we need to first of all identify what it is the Creator wants of us, what He gives us, how we respond to that. So the Creator supposedly wants us to connect and be in equivalence of form with Him. And that's the most important thing, the connection between us. That's what we need to place our full attention on this Saturday, especially with the Congress coming up, with the topic of there's none else besides Him, and for this not to be just words, but for us to actually do it. Let's make an effort to unite our hearts, unite our intentions, and truly feel that we're one body, one heart. We're entering the lesson, praying with a single heart, and there's one Creator for all of us, and we'll ask for help constantly. The main thing, the special thing, is that it's happening in a moment. So with every moment that comes, we need to intensify our preparation, our yearning, our prayer for unity and connection and the success of the Congress. Let's make an effort in this lesson to open our hearts to the friends and to allow that source of light to influence us. We'll be in prayer that all the friends won't leave no besides Him, that they'll always be like the topic of the Congress. It has to basically be our life, that all day we try to be in that also. Today we have a 10 meeting, so there are some times for the Torah that we'll try to really use and increase the importance of the Creator between us, be impressed by the friends and give them greatness. We need to adhere to what I've said in the meal yesterday and a week before as well. He talks about this. One point that he kept repeating. It's that we need to connect in such a way that where there will be no place, no empty space between us. So what we need to do is fashion such a lack which is very strong, very inner, and make sure that nothing weakens it. So let's enter a deep, powerful demand to the Creator to connect us, to truly connect us so that we can really reach that powerful inner connection. We'll each try to see the labor of the other, to see how the friends work and want to help them gain adhesion, and also add deficiency on my part. The none else besides him is the highest topic. There's always more we can go deeper and contemplate. Yes, as the friend said, to minimize the gaps, the spaces between us, and to come with one united lack, and with that lack to turn to the Creator, yet to exerting that the whole lesson and even the platform we have to exercise it is the study that we can be as one man or each one individually. So we want to exert in that and ask for the Creator's help. Yes, let's make an effort now in the lesson to reach a common prayer, common effort, and continue with that throughout the day. Let's delve deeper to the center of the 10 and pray for together to the Creator. Dear friends, hello, everyone. Hello, Israel. Hello to the whole world. Hello from Ukraine. We're all hugging you. We want to be together with you. We love you so much. We want to connect with you as one. The Congress is already here. The Congress has already begun. It's already in the air because we have the strongest friends. Look, see what friends we have. I know each and every one of you. Each one is a fighter, a warrior, a soldier holding his weapon. And our main weapon is prayer. The Creator is always with us. He always acts to help us in our benefit, helping us succeed. And every step towards the Congress is important. And we're going to have this Congress here too for the first time in our lives. We feel it all over the world already. We feel this Congress. We feel all the friends preparing and how we all connect to this. I'm certain that the Congress will be successful, and in Ukraine and the rest of the world, we will all of us connect together. Israel, the whole world. Friends, we want to be together in one heart. We're confident in the friends. I have full confidence in all of our friends, and I'm certain the Congress will succeed. And I'm certain that the Creator will win and will hold us together and show us that there's none else besides him. He will show the whole world what the good who does good is. We hug everyone. We love you. We hug you. We'll see you in the Congress. We'll see you in the Congress. Love thy neighbor as yourself, says it, is a great rule in the Torah. It means that if one keeps this rule, all the details are included in it, meaning it is taken for granted that we will come to the particulars effortlessly without having to work for it. Again, love thy friend as thyself. Rebecca says it is a great rule in the Torah. It means that if one keeps this rule, all the details are included in it, meaning it is taken for granted that we will come to the particulars effortlessly without having to work for it. Silent workshop. Let's ask to be in love of friends so that the Creator will reside within us. Let's ask to be in love of friends so that the Creator will reside within us. Friends, we are starting today a new series of lessons on the topic of none else besides him. We will study selected excerpts on the topic. Now, we'll go into a lesson that originally happened in August 20th, 2019. Let's enter the lesson together from the sources on the subject of there's none else besides him. You're welcome to go on our website cap.tv where you can Watch the lesson and send us questions. Also, the source text can be found on kabbalah.media.info. So, there's none else besides him. We're thoroughly familiar with this subject that accompanies us all the time. This is the first article I got from Rash. He used to give me Shamarti in parts the Shamarti book, the Shamarti booklet. Or first he gave me the article, none else besides him, and afterwards the rest. So this is the main subject that includes everything. You can't really talk about it because it includes everything. What can you say about the something so comprehensive, to the extent to which a person tries to accumulate all of his forces, inclinations, desires, and to the extent to which he connects all that to the concept of none else besides him, that everything comes from the Creator, that everything is directed back to him, then accordingly he is included in the concept of Anod, and this is how we advance. So let's delve into it, and let's hope that we'll be able to absorb this concept and build ourselves and be built by it, please. The first excerpt is from TS Part 1, Inner Reflection. The entire reality, the upper ones and the lower ones as one in the final state of the end of correction, was emanated and created by a single thought. That single thought performs all the operations, and it is the essence of all the operations and the purpose and essence of their labour. It is in itself the entire perfection and the sought after reward. Okay. The entirety of reality, the upper ones and the lower ones as one in the final state of the end of correction, was emanated and created by a single thought. That single thought performs all the operations and is the essence of all the operations, and it is the purpose and the essence of their labour. It is in itself the entire perfection and the sought after reward. That means that there is just one thought, which is the thought of creation. That really includes everything. Only we, the created beings, still don't exactly understand or feel it. But, yeah, we are in it. We're led by it, operated by it. Our entire work is in it. Meaning, this thought is the whole of creation, the so-called thought of creation. And that's all there is. We simply exist in it. We're immersed in it. The only thing that exists is the thought. This thought, everything is scrutinized in thought. There's no matter. Everything's included in the thought. And it's interesting that also modern scientists, when they talk about the universe, they say that they feel the limited. Materialists, scientists, they say that the universe, they feel it as a thought. Also those that talk about the human brain, they say that all in all of our thoughts, desires, everything that has to do with man's, with what operates man, exists outside of man, and that our brain is only a kind of instrument that perceives this thought and passes it on to us. Meaning science is also to some extent advancing toward the same fact that was discovered a long time ago by Kabbalists, that there's nothing in reality besides the thought of creation, and we are in it. And even though we divide our reality into forces and substance and emotions and intellect, and different actions and mind and intellect and emotions and matter, still it's all just a thought, the thought of a creator, and in it we exist. Right? Yeah. In the word thought you cast content into it. And the question is, that word one, does it give us anything? It could be 7 or 9, but we don't attain it. So no, here he's talking about one thought, that there's just one thought that includes everything, and that it seems to the created beings that it's divided into actions, thoughts, intentions, desires, and such. A complicated reality that consists of so many details. That's all according to how we exist in that thought. We feel the thought of creation, but we exist only in it, meaning the Creator has activated his thought toward us. We have to learn what it is, and we exist in this thought and only. So this is the basis of the saying that the world is imaginary and all that. No, 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 no. I don't want to narrow down to this or limit it. Not at all. What we have to attain and what Kabbalists attained is that there's just one thought, which is the thought of creation. And in regard to us, it's seen as, in regard to us, it's to the extent to which it's to the extent of our limitations, to the extent to which we can grasp different forms, manners, and so on. But later on, it narrows down back into that one thought of creation. And once again, we're included in it. Where does it say that we adhere to it? There are no questions, and what of it, that it's all one thought, that this is what we have to attain, meaning we have to attain the thought of the Creator's thought in regard to creation, and then will as if attain him, but also not him, but his attitude to creation, like he says that in one thought everything was created, and this is the thought and the first part of test, and it acts and it does everything, and it is the essence of the action itself, and it is the purpose and the essence of the labour in itself entire perfection, and the thought after reward, meaning this is everything, that's all there is to it, and what we attain from the opposite forms, from the different various forms, it's only in order to understand its depth and uniqueness, and that it is the only one. It's like we say about this being the subject, that all in all we attain it from the opposite, from the multiplicity of actions and manners of the Creator in regard to us, and that are completely opposite and various, and precisely because we're in different contradictions in the mediations that we can't agree and understand everything that we're going through, that our mind doesn't understand, but it won't be able to grasp this to include this. This actually pushes us to such a development where eventually, and above reason and a connection that connects all the opposites, we attain Him. And you can't attain the Creator in any other way, but only from a thing and its opposite. And both of them connect together, complete each other, and are connected in such a way where you can't describe or depict the kind of connection that exists between two opposites, and it's always two in different aspects, forms, shapes, manners, that this is how it is in regard to the created being. Yeah, microphone, mic. I can understand it that there's a system of laws governing reality, but what separates this from why is it given the name thought? Actually, I can't understand the name that term thought. It's true, we're talking in a language that will somehow be understood to us, that says that on part of the Creator all you need is a potential action called thought, and that for him it's enough to see the created beings in the form that they exist outside of him, and also when they reach their completion in his attainment, then these two forms, which are called the end of the action, is in its initial thought. They exist together, and they shape that black point that was created, and it's called creation. Everything else besides that point is just its evolvement in regard to itself, the way it attains itself. Who is it? What is it? And by attaining itself, then who's the Creator? What's going on with him? Why, what, how? Everything's attained from this black point. We never leave it, but only from it do we attain reality. Therefore, the whole of reality, to the measure to which it opens up within this black point, all then, all, it's meant only in order for this point to feel. Where does it come from? Who created it? Who controls it? Who develops it? But all that, like a movie that projected in it, that passes through it, and the entire universe, all of us, all the worlds exist inside of it, and the attitude of the previous emanator, the light that has created this point, shaped it, the attitude of the light. Toward it is called the thought of creation. Therefore, we have that one thought in which that point was emanated, from which all of reality developed, and therefore we call it the thought of creation. It's the Creator's attitude to the, and therefore we say that everything was created in that thought, emanated in that thought, formed in it, and there's only this thought that includes everything, and it's the desired reward, of course, and the exertion, and all the events that occur. Everything is in that point. Everything is included in it, meaning there is nothing that is not included, that thought of creation, including that black point called creation, and everything that happens with that point to that point. Everything's included there. No, we talk a lot about where's the disconnection here. The emanator himself, that's not called the mat, but that's called, and this thought that was comprised in him, and this thought is also as if existing from absence. That didn't exist before creation, and from that thought we already talk about creation, that on part of the Creator there is just this thought, and when this thought is comprised from him, then we the created beings can attain it only in those stages in which that thought as if disconnects from him only to that extent. Then it starts acting in and of itself, and in that thought there are already additional thoughts, and about them we talk about as the meaning. We learn later on about what emerges in practice from that which exists in potential in that black point at includes the thought of the Creator to create that point, and the point itself that feels itself as if that it's disconnected from the Creator. In short, the entire process that in advance is included in that thought, meaning that there's everything exists in it, and everything develops from that thought. That thought, let's put it this way, is the root of the root. Root is, so there you already have the, or with the black point which is of the soul. We're talking also before that where we can't talk about the thought of creation without the even in terms of his potential. But that's how we talk about it anyway. So when we study there's none else besides him. Who is that who there's none else besides him? Is that the thought of creation? Is the thought of creation, and only it acts, but also when we say we talk only, we also talk from that thought of creation. It's the only thing that exists. All the things and their opposite, they're all included in that thought. No, but just one question. Maybe you should stop yourself. Maybe you'll have something else. I ask why the man is brought to the point of failure, and then he determines that the Creator is a genius because the Creator determined that he will determine this. Then he's brought to the genius, and together they discover the triangle, the genius triangle, the Israel, the Torah, and the creed are one, the lower one, the upper one, and the one above the upper one. Is it so? That's how it is. Thank you very much. It's been very pleasant for me. Give it to your friend. There's an article that says that by a student serving his love, he's awarded with attaining his thoughts because he's serving the love, and he hears the talking, the speaking of the love, and, as it says, acquires Torah and wisdom. What is that service that ends up in acquiring the thought? Because by wanting to realize in your desire what the upper wants, then you're like the lower parts of that elevates itself to the upper in order to support and help and whatever the upper needs. What is man? It's not that I'm lacking something. If I'm lacking, then it's my ego. But when I examine how can I turn to the upper, first and foremost I have to know what does the upper need, and then accordingly I work on myself and raise money. Therefore a student that serves his Rav, and not necessarily his Rav, also his friend, that in this case is called his Rev, then this way they're included of the spirituality of the other, and this is how they ascend. It's the extension of vessels. We can't reach it in any other way. By building the 10, if I'm not included in them, If I don't yield to them, then I'll have no 10. I'll have no clear. I'll have no RV. RAV is the 10 that I'm a part. That's how it works. So by being included in the desire of the other wanting to serve it by that, I'm included in his Kim, and this how I work. This is the matter of the ascentive. There, degrees like we say that ascend to Galar, and the N only that way. And that same thought of creation that we just talked about, we simply have to integrate in it more and more. And all of these degrees, they're degrees of further and greater connection, qualitatively wise in the way that we are integrated in the upper. Qualitatively means that every time I have to make myself more subtle, sharpen myself, elevate myself to disconnection from myself and to become more and more included in him. And this is how I'm included in him, how I ascend to him. And this is the spiritual ascent. There ascends and descends in this. There's always the desire to harm the upper, both corporeally, also spiritually. Depends on who and what are we talking about, and therefore man has to be aware of this and to understand that on and off he is experiencing states of yes and no. At times he's attired. At time he disregards, even wants to harm. That's how it works. And it's normal. It's true. All the Kabbalists wrote about it a lot and also understand their students, and therefore it says that you have to agree to everything, besides leave. So he harms a bit. So he does, he's a bit harmful. So he is also, he's a bit useful. Good. The way consists of 2 legs. A person can't attain a certain mitzvah unless he first fails in it. Therefore, and none else besides him, we also determine all the time what is none else besides him. I or he, I with the world or the creator. At times I'm willing to be integrated in him and to be immersed in him without any self-recognition. And at times I don't understand what is it all about. Everyone gets this. Okay, now that it's a special point, there's a plan. Everything is laid down already from that place in a restricted manner, perhaps. Can we say that everything is predetermined, predefined? All of it. And we throughout our lives, we simply discover things according to our advancement and development. But everything is already predefined. It's correct. And this is something that Kabbalists do not hide from you. And everything shall reach its root. And the end of correction already exists. Only we have to attain it for ourselves, and there's nothing new under the sun, and so on. And there are many verses and excerpts about it. The question is, do you want to express by it that you want it, that you accept the thought of creation and you want to serve it? Yes, that's the choice. That this is what the struggle's over. Exactly. I'm just using this opportunity to ask, because if we manage to take it on faith that everything is predefined, predetermined, it's easier. At least it's the way I think. And as you said once, that the way Nat eats or something, it's I don't remember exactly, but I don't remember, but okay. So what does it mean to attain that? There's no besides him. Do you attain the thought? What do you attain? I attain the thought of creation, which is universal, soul which is one steady. There's nothing fixed. There's nothing besides it. We're all included in it from beginning to end, with all the different variations that are revealed in us as if we exist in different worlds and different states. But it is all included in one static form, which is the thought that the Creator created from the very first point, and the final act is in the initial thought. So the Creator is a thought. The Creator, no, the Creator, we're talking about a force that has created us. Sure, it's a thought, but that created us in such a way where we exist and a feeling of being outside of him, right? So, ultimately, when we build the connection inside the 10, we return to connection with the thought of creation or with the Creator. It's one the same. So where does the quality of bestow disappear here? Is it always also there? These are all means that we acquire in order to reach unity, that same point where everything's swallowed in the thought of creation. What does it mean to attain the thought that I live, that I act only according to one program? We'll use many words here, but there's not really much to add. Why is it that there are many different actions, many different forms? It's as if he created something infinite. Or no, he didn't create anything, actually. Besides, it's called the action of meaning outside of him. Everything else comes only in order for us to be able to perceive the depth of the thought of creation. And how does this help us? That it's that you have so many different details, because the created being cannot be an attainment of the Creator on the degree of the Creator unless he is included of all of these opposite contrasting discernments. So the person who is the epitome of creation, he needs to incorporate all these forms. Man means that system that includes all the qualities of creation, these and those opposite ones. So what is attainment in actually? Is it in incorporating everything? That is, the attainment comes from the incorporation of two opposites. So what? To integrate with? What do we integrate into in order to attain the thought? What does it mean to integrate or incorporate? It's the desire to receive and the intention in order to bestow when, and the connection and the correct connection between the two we have attainment. Wait. Yeah. It's not clear that then if it's one thought and we need to attain it, what does it mean that there is a 10? You have 10 discernments. How do these things work together? Meaning, so it turns out that the maximum we can attain, that's 10 discernments, which are as one in one package. These 10 discernments were made by the difference, the gap between the will to receive and the will to bestow, that it is impossible to arrange any kind of connection between them. Besides, by the 10 discernments between them, that from the upper point, which is the Creator, bestow, and down to the lowest thought, which is what we call desire, or the desire to receive. Then these two opposite contradicting thoughts or contradicting desires, the desire to receive and the desire to bestow, both of them are in order. In order to work things out, they have to be connected, and the only way they can be connected is by these 8 degrees that exist between them. So we attain there's none else besides him through the divide between the 8 discernments. These 8 discernments, of course, from we attain in other words that we have to include inside us all these discernments, and this happens if we start working in the 10, and each such discernments, it's also there's none else besides him, or is it only the combination of all of them that forms there's none of us besides him? This is already the matter of how 10 divides into another 10 and another 10. We'll talk about it. Let's continue. Yennefer here suggests supplementary reading here. So this is from the introduction to the book of Soho, by the very thought to create the souls. His thought completed everything, for he does not need an act, as do we. Instantaneously all the souls and worlds that were destined to be created emerged, filled with all the delight and pleasure and the gentleness that he had planned for them in the final perfection that the souls were destined to receive at the end of correction. After the will to receive in the souls has been fully corrected and has turned into pure bestow in complete equivalence of form with the emanator. This is so because in his eternalness, past, present, and future are as one. The future is as the present, and there is no such thing as time for him. Hence there was never an issue of a corrupted will to receive in its separated state in ends. On the contrary, that equivalence of form destined to be revealed at the end of correction appeared instantly in his eternalness. Our sages said about this Before the world was created, there were. He is one, and his name one. Further, separated form in the will to receive had not been revealed in the reality of the souls that emerged in the thought of creation. Rather, they were adhered to him in equivalence of form by way of he is one and his name one. Yeah, okay. On our path we have high regard for what we call the power of thought. We say let's think of the friends. It's written. Everything is clarified through thought. What's the connection between our thought and the thought of creation? Only thoughts, the actions that we do. Because right now we're in a kind of imagination that we're in the world of actions. These are also thoughts only. They seem to us as actions. But these are thoughts because a person can't do anything unless in his will to receive he decides that he wants it. It could even be that he is forced to do it. But if he does that already, means that he decided about it, that he thinks about it. That's the expression of the thought. So we're in such a state where we can operate ourselves, operate our thoughts by different states that actually we're actually not everything is scrutinized in thought, but it's scrutinized in those states that come before the thought. Just like it's similar to the creator that had an as if state, if you can say that, before he thought about us, the creator before he thought about us, about how to create, how to arrange creation, existence from absence he needs. Aha, as if what did he say I need? Existence from absence, from them to be disconnected from us, and then they will feel that they themselves are so, and such, and then they'll start working in such and such way. What is the end of the action is in the initial thought. Therefore, I have to come down to a state where they will be disconnected from me, that they will be completely connected, included in some kind of reality that is not a thought, but matter that precedes thought, and this are matter which is also a thought. But when that isn't called a thought, and for them to be in for them to be engaged in it in the still vegetative animate of this world, and from that they will come from below up, the same way that I come to them from above down, that just like the Creator, before he creates, will come and see us disconnected from us, as we too here are in a state where we are disconnected from him, whereas if in our own essence, no, we'll see, then she'll have something to compare it with. Can one think of something he doesn't want? Of course, once he wants to, when I make an effort to think of connection, does it mean that I want connection? Of course. And in these thoughts which I form, do I generate anything new in reality, or what? Only in thought, of course. Can you try to explain what happens when we think together about connection? We're in a world that's called the world of actions. This is actually a thought without a thought. Intention without an intention. This is how we still act, as though we still don't have the importance of the power of thought. Therefore, we feel that we are in the world of actions, and then we perform different actions, both transgressions and mitzvot, and this and that, and different people. It's all eventually in order to understand that these actions do not benefit us, that we have to rise to a higher degree, and if we don't decide on it, then our reality brings us to the need to ascend. We see through technology, through our different efforts, that we can't do anything by the power of the action itself, but that eventually the power of thought is the strongest force, and it is what acts, and so on, where all of our actions are only in order to activate their thought. And the entire difference between the worlds, between the degrees, is the extent to which the power of thought is more focused, more includes opposite discernments, and is directed at becoming like the Creator, where for him everything is scrutinized in thought. So let's go to something else. Excerpt 2 from the book of So the portion of all that there is in the world is from the Creator. He alone did, does, and will do all the deeds in the world. He knows in advance all that will unfold in the end as it is written, declaring the end from the beginning. And he watches and does things in the beginning in order to repeat them and to do them perfectly after some time. Again, all there is in the world is from the Creator, that he alone did, does, and will do the deeds in the world, all the deeds in the world. He knows in advance all that will unfold in the end as it is written, declaring the end from the beginning. And he watches and does things in the beginning in order to repeat them and to do them perfectly after some time. Of course, this is all in respect to the created beings. Where he does this before or afterwards, he does will do it all comes back, turns around. It's all in respect to us, in respect to the Creator. There's no change, no difference in time, and all any discernment that we might want to ascribe to him. No, it's all just one thought. So we can only say with respect to him that there was some state that we cannot speak of at all. We cannot say what state existed before he thought of creation, and then a state where he's already thinking about creation. That's all. Other than these two states, you have nothing. The states that came before creation, we cannot say anything about it other than to call it Atmito, himself. He himself who and what forms, qualities, shapes, nothing, we can't speak of it. There is some ancient root, some primordial root, and later comes the thought of creation which emanated, so to speak, from his essence, from Atmito, and it includes it comprises to the Creator and the created being. So of course that root is there, is none else besides him, and he exists and sustains everything, and we are within him. So we have only one question to ask: when will we reach complete identification with our root? It's only in that direction. If we develop in that direction, then we are advancing correctly. Now, is there any kind of participation on our part here, or is it also all included in the thought of creation, and so we have nothing? And here the Kabbalists who have attained all the degrees tell us no, don't think it's all included in a thought of creation, and there's nothing left for you to do. Rather, you must invest your efforts yourselves and to reach the root and to integrate with it, and then gradually you will come to understand, and ultimately at the end you will understand the whole of reality proper, meaning the extent to which the thought of creation is to your benefit, acts for you. So questions none. All right. So previously we had many, now none. Right. Yes. May were we to divide the work into for the upper and for the lowers, it would have been easier, meaning what comes from above, and meaning dividing the work. There's a very clear division here. What if from below only submission, it includes within it many sub-actions, so to speak. But it's only submission because if everything comes from above, from there's none else besides him. So what can you do on your side only to attain that there's none else besides him, and in the attainment of there's none else besides him, you need to also attain that in that very attainment there is none else besides him, and then more there's none else besides him, in there's none else besides him, and so on until you are simply, you dilute yourself to the point of nothingness, because it seems that everything comes from him. Yes, excellent. So as if to hold on to what that there's none else besides him. The submission to identify that none else besides him is that he operates everything. It's called utter submission. I want for all my bones to declare that I will behave completely in accordance with his thoughts, but by that I discover the extent to which I'm and the opposite to him, and how I rise against him. I push him away, I disagree, and I hate him, and so on and so forth. And so it follows that my integration in the thought of creation depends on the extent to which I subdue my view to my coarseness, which the Creator created, so that I will adhere with all his light, which will in me become the flesh the will to receive, so that, with all this will receive, I will come back to adhere to him. It follows then that he comes with his from his light, and I come from my darkness, which is also like the light. I come towards him, and then we truly are as partners. We meet, otherwise I wouldn't have anything to approach him with, seemingly, because of the opposedness between us. It's meant to fail the submission, because you will never agree to something that's opposite to you. So, what do you do about the resistance? Why did you not request? So you also have to ask for the submission for everything. Yes, we know that. Thought is an offshoot of the desire, is what drives the thought, awakens it. Now if, for example, we take the state of Mount Zion, where there was and they received, I wanted to scrutinize the matter of when there is a common claim that now we're trying to build. This, what's the difference between common decision? How do they reach this decision, this common thought? Theirs is there a difference? How does a 10 come to one thought, one choice, one decision? Exactly, that helps realize this, and their eyes are one. It's very simple. Slow-mo by each one annealing himself towards the common principle, which is the center of the group, which is the creator. Very simple. There's no problem here, no problem if I treat the creator as if they're the appearance of the creator before me. Then I subdue myself. I have no problem in doing that. No resistance. I just need to accept it. And it also depends on them. I need to accept the fact that they are the presentation of the creator towards me. And so it's very good that in that way I can myself rather submit to him. And it's very good that, well, I feel myself, I feel that it's kind of a relief. It becomes easy. I see that there's something clearly defined in front of me. I'm not confused. I can actually perform an action. And that action, that act is simple. It sits within my capabilities. It's in my hands to do. So what could be better if not for the 10? I would have simply roamed through the clouds, the worlds I don't know within me. I wouldn't have known how to find anything, but if I have our actual demonstration, actual way to annul before the creator as I can annul before those 9 friends. Why do I care how they are? I don't care about who they are, what they're like. I don't need to check them at all. The creator brings them to me. He puts my hand on the good faith, and that's it. So this the matter of the concealment. If you simply I don't care if it vanishes or doesn't. It's I know that the spiritual act for me. It's simply that's how it manifests. Give it to him. The thought of the 10 is it similar to the thought of creation. This we still need to attain. But of course, yes, to the extent that I integrate into the 10 and I reach, I achieve a proper connection in it. I come to feel the kettle, and that is the thought of creation according to the degree. According to our degree, the thought of the 10 depends on all the parts of the 10. No, in the 10 you can have Rabbi Ossi Binismar and his students, and each one according to his own measure of annulment. He knows himself much towards them. They are great to him, and then he receives much from them, and according to his measure of annulment, not according to them, but according to his own measure of annulment. So I don't take into account who the 10, what the 10 is like, if they're beginners, if they're bright veteran students. I don't take that into account. I take into account only the extent to which I can unnormal myself towards them, and then perhaps it's better for me to be with beginners actually. But we don't do that kind of calculus either, because the creator keeps changing things around me in respect to them, in respect to me. Ultimately, it's enough that I have I have where to annul myself, and by that I prepare the vessel for the attainment of the thought of creation. But the direction is the same. Direction. It's always the same direction. Each one helps each other. Shalom. Hello. We are in a lesson. Preparation towards the World Kabbalah Congress, connecting to none else besides him, happening next weekend of May 2025. We are in preparation for lesson number For none else besides him in the 10. Again lesson number 4, none else besides him in the 10 in the world. Kabbalah convention connecting to none else besides. From one has to believe that there is none else besides him, meaning that all is done by the Creator, meaning, like said, everything depends on man's choice. If I am not for me, who is for me? However, after the fact, one should say that everything is private providence, and that one does nothing on his own. We should interpret this as the rights. There is the matter of hairs which cover the light, so they do not enjoy the light as long as they are unworthy. We must not feel that the Creator, because the thing is that we must believe that the Creator gave us a desire and yearning to do good deeds, and as long as one is unworthy, he must not feel that the Creator compels him to do good deeds. This is why the Creator hides himself in dresses, and this dressing is called lishmer. In other words, sometimes the Creator hides himself in a clothing of friends. For example, there's a situation when a person doesn't want to get up and learn before dawn, so the Creator hides himself in a dressing of friends, and he gets out of bed even though he's tired since a thought came to his mind. It is not nice to the friends that they all come to learn, and he's not, since then everyone will look at his loneliness. Hence he gets up and goes to the seminary and learns. It follows that he does not have the energy to get out of bed because of the commandment of the Creator. So the Creator doesn't force him to go to the seminary, since if this were the reason, he would be lying in bed, but the friends do obligate him. And similar to this example are all other things when a person acts. Although there are many degrees in lishma, we will speak of this example. Here we should look at the person who is going to learn and to observe, not because the Creator commits him. In other words, if it were because of the commandment of the Creator, he would not have the strength to overcome the body and to compel it to do good deeds. However, because of people, he does have the strength to do good deeds. Thus, we see what importance there can be in the lishma. Yet one must believe, as was said above, that there is none else besides him, meaning that it is the Creator who compels him to do the good deeds. But, since he is still unworthy of knowing that it is the Creator who commits him, the Creator dresses himself in dresses of flesh and blood, through which the Creator performs these actions. Thus, the Creator acts in the form of aim. In other words, the person sees people's faces, but he should believe that behind the faces stands the Creator and performs these actions. That is, behind the man stands the Creator and compels him to do the deeds that the Creator wants. It follows that the Creator does everything that the person regards what he sees and not what the person should believe. For this reason, a person says that he is doing the deeds of us with the example of the friends who commit him. Also, it does not have to be friends. Rather, everyone has his own external clothing which suits him. Hence, when for instance one comes to the synagogue because the friends committed him to come, he says the Creator was the reason that he went to learn, but the Creator only dressed in a clothing of friends. Us. Now he thanks the Creator for being the reason. It follows that when a person did the deed when the Creator was not the reason, that compelled him to perform the mitzvah, but he acted because, for instance, the friends ordered him and he had to obey. One must believe that he did this because the Creator commanded him to observe the mitzvah and he had to obey what the Creator commanded him to do. However, the Creator hid himself in a clothing of lishma, such as the friends, so that through this clothing he would think that he must obey the voice of lishma. But in truth, one must believe that it was all the Creator's doing. Thus after he performs the mitzvah, he should say that it was the Creator who acted behind the clothing. Of it follows that then one should thank the Creator for giving him the desire to observe his commandments through this clothing. With the above said, we can understand the great importance of lishma, that is, it's not as one thinks, that he does everything for the lishma. Rather, he's doing everything because the Creator commanded him, except he was still not rewarded with feeling that the Creator is actually the commander. For this reason, a person thinks that the lishma is the commander, and hence the act is not so important in his eyes. However, if he believes that there's none else besides him, as was written in previous articles in this caution, then in truth he is observing the commandments of the Creator, and he should appreciate his actions in lishma and one's imagination that he is only observing an act in lishma is only because he was not rewarded yet with feeling that he is observing the king's commandment and that he is serving the king. And if he believes that the lishma is truly the Creator committing him to engage in Torah, and then he can give thanks to the Creator for dressing in a clothing of lishma, and from this one can come to appreciate the importance of Torah, and even our sages said about this, and they collect from a person knowingly meaning and unknowingly meaning. This is the meaning of what is written, that the meaning, they cover the light, so they will not be fed by the light as long as they are unfit for it. In other words, they are clothing, and under that clothing the light stands and shines. But in the meantime, the light is covered. You hear that? Okay. Think if it's not so clear, how is it possible to exist in such a reality without those covers? Because seemingly that the covers give you work to search behind, to believe that there's a Creator behind them, and if there's already as if without the covers, then what kind of work is there? Where's the created being in the process? There is a room for that question. Thank you. Raf, what does it mean to be worthy of doing good deeds? Miss I guess Adam. Kaplesia, yeah. You're someone who's close to doing in order to bestow, and yet something stops him, doesn't let him approach the action. He writes here, one who is not worthy is not given their desire. So how do we in the work in the tent to let the Creator give us the desire and passion? How do we get there? Better and better. There are two things here. Speech. 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 Come on to our questions. Thank you. R. What does the discernment that the friends obligate you or the Creator obligate you? What does that give the person he chooses? Perhaps relative to whom does he wish to subjugate himself? What's the difference if he surrenders to the friends? It says he's already in the right track, on the right track to the Creator. No, it's possible he's not linking these two reasons together. So, how does he connect both reasons together? Perhaps he starts to investigate. Where did he get the impulse to be incorporated with the friends? He wants to be certain that behind the friends the Creator is hiding. If there's an urge to reach connection with the friends, then it's certainly from the Creator, right? And if there is an urge from the friends to basically, it's unclear where a person needs to position himself in this scrutiny. We need to keep scrutinizing this. Thank you. In this transition, from he says he identifies in lishma that he's actually working for the friends because the friends commanded him how to replace this force, great force of working for the friends who obligate him to come, be on time, do the things to a force that is more amorphous. It's unseen, not present when we need to be replaced here with a strong force. He has a strong force in his hands. He wants to advance, but he doesn't find where to bring the additional force. Yes. What do the Creator works behind every state, every friend, every thought, every action? The Creator works behind everything. So what's left from my role as a human being. It also works operating me. Every action I do, every thought I have, not just them. It's me too. So what's my participation here? Where does it happen? Your participation in this. To come to recognize each thought, each action in the thought and the desire. Say, the Creator is one who does it, who offers it, who accepts it. It's all the Creator. And this is called spiritual attainment. Relatively speaking, what should a person attain that he's completely operated? Yes, the topic of the lesson is none else besides him in the 10. What's the force of none else besides him in the 10? In between 10 friends. In the 10, it's already prepared for us. Or if a person attains his connection with the friends, then it always turns out that the force he receives is the force of the 10, and he can relate to this like to the only force there is. Can know what's the difference between revelation of the Creator in the 10 and in the whole of reality. He can't. It's only in the 10, where a person is able to connect all these questions into one single question, connect all of his thoughts into a single thought. Then it turns out that he reaches the 1. A person attains none else besides him inside the 10. And as he develops, what's changing? What's added? If everything's in the 10, what develops is the reason. If a person aims himself correctly, he then discovers that force which works on him from there, besides him. Thank you. In order to get feedback of importance from my action, I need to envision that I'm working towards the friends or the Creator. You need to try and act toward the Creator through the connection in your 10. How does none else besides him not corrupt the cleanliness of working towards the friends? There's now besides him becomes clear to us, punctuated, highlighted when through these conditions we reveal him. Yes, but we have to acquire vessels of clean bestow without any reward for ourselves. Now if I depict none else besides him as I face the friends, it ruins the cleanliness of their action. I have an interest in that. I have some reward whatever I do. If I neutralize none else besides him, I want to make a clean action towards the friend or the 10. And also then on the other hand I have no importance. If I work towards the friends, I don't get a feel of importance. On the contrary, I feel heaviness. I feel so it's unclear what to do. Kill me. When he writes that the Creator hides himself in a clothing of friends, what does it mean? That through the right connection with the friends you can attain the Creator. The relation to the friends should be as if they're the Creator for you. How do you relate to the friends? In total, the attitude of the Creator towards you will become clear to you from your connection with the friends. Why specifically the Creator hides himself in the friends towards the person? This is what he did. This condition, this state. Is there something in the friends that isn't the Creator? There are many reasons or outcomes that don't aim a person towards the Creator. So how from the relations with the friends, how did you identify specifically the Creator behind them? I think that our attitude in general between us among ourselves has to reveal to us the upper force one, unified. What do we need to emphasize so that our connection will make a shape where the Creator can be dressed? How do we make place for the Creator to dress into? Through our connection, by searching for that particular form of connection between us that fits theirs besides him. Last question. The Creator is already present between us, and what we're lacking is just to identify it, or that in our connection we make him present. We make him be present. So what does he mean when he says the Creator hides himself in a clothing of friends? If we make him present, then what does it mean that the Creator hides himself in a clothing of friends. Holy trick. Yes, I can't concentrate enough to answer. When a student understands somewhat that the advice choose the good is clothed or hidden in the friends in the instructions in the friend in the books, and it's an opportunity for gratitude. What does the gratitude testify to or awaken in the next degree towards the one who is grateful? Through this gratitude, person can point to his willingness to reach. There's none else besides him. In relation to gratitude, should the person thank his announced to his friends. Their gratitude, or as we say in the language of the study, should we restrict or conceal this gratitude toward them in an open way? I think a person needs to understand, but to be in gratitude is a great thing, and to give an example in that he announces to his friends really through this daily work that he has gratitude for this and for that. Perhaps yes. My last question is maybe especially now because of our focus on our preparation for the convention. We see that if we seemingly look backward, we see that all the calculations other than are to specific points in life, but they were all for self-benefit alone, that you could call that evil, that I'm completely evil. What do we do with that awareness? What is that correct attitude other than gratitude to the Creator and asking for help to exit that pit? What do we do with that in which you look backward and things that you thought that you did good for others, that it was just this aggressive, lowly, despicable calculation for self-benefit alone? The fact they show a person certain point of truth that advances him on the path that in itself is already a reward, and what he has to do is to take upon himself this adhesion to that point, and we can use it to come to the goal. Thank you, Raf. And the whole Klee, in relation to submission. What does it mean to submit myself to the Creator? When I take him into consideration, sure, when I consider him as the only reason for everything I have in my reality, submission before the 10 advances me to submission before the Creator. Yes, how? And gradually on this path from state to state, see how much I surrender before the friends, before that 10, or toward that force that is standing behind him and is managing everything. So what do I submit towards the friends and towards the force that is behind them? That earlier answered that I seek what form of connection between us is suitable to there's none else besides him. Can you explain that? We need to come to a form of connection which matches completely the upper force of theirs, not besides him, and we should be aimed at that at all times. So are there forms of connection between us that are not suitable for the width that is besides him, and those that are? I guess there. Or does it depend on each person's perception of reality, or does it depend on this common work between us? What does it depend on? It depends on this mutual work. I say now we're before the convention, which is an event which focuses all the forces, and at the convention we want to reveal behind us, behind the friends, behind the whole of reality there is besides him. Yes, so what should we do in order to reveal that correct form, to try and explore all the options of connection between us and find what fits what's suitable for the purpose of creation? Is there an example or direction for a correct form for a correct connection? You have to look for it. Say everyone wanting to bestow to each other. Is that correct? Or is something in that incorrect? What should the tendency be? The tendency should be such that in the connection between us is such the possibility that we haven't yet discovered, meaning that we really want that in connection there will be there is no besides him. Yes, that is the tendency that needs to be in place. Facts. I wanted to continue that I heard earlier, that we need to take all the thoughts to one thought. What is that one thought that is really suitable for with the Creator for what we need to reveal between us? The Creator isn't just concealed behind each and every friend. We take the thought of each and every friend between us and we need to connect that into one thought. So what do I need to direct myself at every moment in that one thought so that there is where I reveal where is that force between us? I don't quite understand the question. I have a 10. Through the 10, I absorb, receive what the Creator wants. Through every friend in my connection with the friends, what he said, what he says through them, etc. I want to connect all of those thoughts into one thought. So what is that one thought that I need to direct myself at through the friends? Adhesion in the Creator. What does it mean, adhesion with the Creator? What is that adhesion? What do I need increasingly time and again to discover there to direct myself at? What do I want to reveal there? You need to reveal there. Force the force you wish to be adhered to. So that's the question, like I asked earlier. What is that force that I need to reveal there? What is that force? Love. That force is there is none else besides Him. Is it a force of love, a force of bestow, that we're always talking about? Is that what we need to discover between us all the time? More and more, not all the time, but to all the time, to constantly be aimed at it. And that can only be in annulment one toward another. Hold to contact with the Creator. Is that something personal? Yes. The 10. Where is it in relation to a person's personal contact with the Creator? Is a kind of instrument through which a person enters into the connection with the Creator. No, the beginning of the second excerpt, the beginning of the second paragraph, he speaks about the hairs. I could read it, but it would be better for you. We should interpret this as the AI writes that there is the matter of hairs which cover the light, so they do not enjoy the light as long as they are unworthy, since they might blemish what a hair is. And how can we invert to be like the gates in the pleasure in the thought of creation? Hairs are on the one hand a form of concealment, and on the other hand advance a person towards the correct revelation. Leo, how can we invert them to become gates? Can they? Yes, it happens when a person investigates them, explores them, and then reaches their internality. Explore. How can we explore them? To explore. This is part of our work. When I connect, according to the questions that arise in me, and then that's how I understand and feel. My name is I'm getting closer to the revelation of the hairs. Another question. How can I prepare how can we prepare our questions, our deficiencies, to be one deficiency in relation toward the convention, where it'll be possible to receive a revelation upon a correct desire? How can we prepare questions and deficiencies of ours to be as one, so that at the Congress there'll be an opportunity to receive a correct desire as one? You need to try and connect and feel what this connection gives birth to. My God, for already speaking about the Congress, another small point that we're now going in the 10 areas here is going to be in Kazakhstan. Kosher is going to be in Hungary. I'm going to be in Pennsylvania. Other friends are going to be here, and we're 110, and we're going to be dispersed in all kinds of places around the world. When we say that we're going to reveal there is none else besides Him in the 10, is that in the heart in the original 10, or is it that we are going to meet the friends with the same quality, in the same nature, in the same desire, in the different places that we're going to? This depends on the person. A person who's adhered to his group, to his 10 or to a bigger part of everything. It's up to a person. He has to feel. Where does it come from? What force is taking care of him? And then in this way, he advances toward Attainment from what he gets more. Inspiration from or some kind of nature. Of more loyalty to the 10 or according to what does he choose? According to his nature. I hear that contact with the Creator is personal. The 10 is an instrument for revelation that helps me reach a contact with the Creator. Now we have a convention with thousands of attendees all around the world. It's going to be spread all around the globe. My question is, how do we use this spiritual state? Because otherwise I can just be alone with my 10 and reach the same attainment. So what is this edition of the Congress in this situation? The edition of the Congress is the connection between all these groups. From within this connection, we need to attain much more compared to what we've attained. And what does the connection give with everyone upon the connection with the 10 watts, as opposed to the connection with the 10? It gives you power. Connection in the 10 is connection, but it's possible that it's still a very small connection, and the connection that's outside of the 10 can be a very strong connection. What was there in the 10? It seems like there's something lacking in the 10, that there is not something in the 10 like lacking power. Can't we not receive that power in the 10? Impossible or possible depends on the work in the 10. In an individual 10, is it possible to reveal there is none else besides him? So what does that 10 need other 10s for? To reach there is no besides him, but it can reach there is no besides him in and of itself. Theoretically, yes. Practically no. I don't think that today. You have such 10s that they can point to themselves and say that they are capable of doing it. So at the convention, what is the correct work? What needs to be the correct work of a 10 of a group of? How can we correctly use that very great connection? The important thing is participation. Connection. Book. Out of an embrace. This has to be something extremely serious. This entire reality was built such that we help each other reveal this collective soul of Adam that shattered. Whether it's in the 10 or in congresses, or in all these connections, and we are in this for many years. I want to ask, what is attainment if we're sitting nicely like this, connected like right now? I'm so focused, I'm alert, I'm absorbing every single word of yours. I'm completely aimed at the Creator. So what are these additions, these pleasant additions of congresses, meals, these special moments where we have something? What is that addition where I don't just get fulfilled with this, there is none else besides? It's great. But what's that addition of? Addition in the vessel. In the vessel, if I depict to myself the end of correction, completely connected and directed clear to the Creator, there is no difference between us. So we'll have that now in the meal. It's happening now in the lesson. And then at the Congress it's even more powerful. So what is that addition that's lacking? Because we will feel love and connection and pleasantness. What is the addition of the entire collective connection? The addition of the entire vessel to the connection. What is the attack that you did at Sukkot with Rosh? And what is our attack in these special moments? There's connection. What's the addition? What is that powerful world Kli? What does it give in that extra intensity? What attainment are we expecting in this connection in the end of correction? Enough. We expect an attainment that's going to be common, mutual, common to everyone, under certain conditions that are placed before us by the Creator, and that same discernment will appear to us and to Him is something whole, complete. That is all. What do we want to attain? What we want to attain is, after all, the upper force that is present relative to us, sustaining us, building us, renewing us each and every moment. And we wish to, in our attainment, we wish to, the revelation of this upper force. The Creator concealed Himself behind the friends only in order for us to become stronger in that He is the cause of everything, that the Creator is the cause of everything. The Creator maintains himself behind the friends. Because only where we have the right connection with the friends we'll be able to reveal him. Revealing him is the intention that comes from him, the way one interprets it, meaning every intensity of connection that we have which becomes more upgraded. So we have this extra opportunity. Yes, good, Shalom, of creation. You gave the answer that in relation to the Creator we don't reveal him, but his attitude, the attitude of the Creator to the created being, and I on my behalf need to be in the question of what does the upper one lack, which is, for me it's the expansion of the vessels. So my question is, what does the upper one lack? That's in relation to the recorded article, and now what we read. Rush gave the answer. But the truth is that the person needs to believe that the Creator did everything, and after he did the mitzvah he needs to say that the Creator acted behind the dressing of Lishma, and then it turns out that the person needs to give thanks to the Creator, and that the Creator gave him this desire to do his mitzvot through the dressings. So it means that there's this process that we need to reach. There's now that besides him, and there is exertion, which is called faith. Faith above reason, with that faith we also receive from him. But each time we need to add exertion, where is the 10 in bestowing to the friends. What does the upper one lack, so that we will be in bestow and love? And that begins from as if, as Rabash many times says, but that already means that we need to be like the Creator. So that's the question that I took from all of these articles. Thank you. Okay, we must go to the next part of the lesson. What do we have? We are focusing mostly on the topic of the preparation of to the convention, as you just talked about. Now the lesson number 4 of the convention, which will already be next week. Actually, there is none else besides him, is the topic of the convention. And now we're going to listen to a report about the convention. Please. Okay friends, we're in the preparation of a convention. Our goal is to reveal to the Creator. Our goal is to reveal the Creator. And therefore we are gathering here to establish a society where each and every one of us will go in the spirit to bestow upon the Creator. And in order to reach bestow upon the Creator, we need to first bestow to man, which is called love of others. And this love of others cannot exist unless through self-annulment, where each and every one needs to be lowly on one hand, and on the other hand we need to be proud, and that the Creator gave us the opportunity so that we'll be able to enter into a society where each and every one of us will have just one goal, where there will dwell between us these two things, annulment and pride. That is our opportunity that we have at every single moment, and the convention is a very powerful and special event that all the Kabbalists expected us to reach that. And Ra is telling us that we have the whole method, nothing is preventing us from attaining it. So what does we lack? Simply to connect, unite around that idea of Rashlam, and all the Kabbalists that they penetrated into us. We're already absorbed beyond what we need. That is the convention. That is our opportunity to leap into Jerusalem. And whoever still thinks that whether it's in Hungary or Kazakhstan, Ukraine, Pennsylvania, Chile, or all the other places, you just need to pull yourself out of yourself and go to the Congress in order to reach godliness, to reach attainment. That is our vision, to reach attainment, to reveal the Creator to ourselves and to the created beings. So, like we each time we leap, that is our opportunity now to leap, to not be stuck in ourselves in some kind of calculations of what's going to happen. The Creator is there for us to decide that we need to connect. We exit ourselves to Jerusalem and time, and again we connect more and more and more around that spiritual idea, and the main thing is that the Creator will be happy with us is here. So we spoke in the lesson about the efforts we're all putting in, and following what just said, the Congress started so much effort invested into this, so much exertion of so many friends all over the world. In the past, the Congress was only here, so everything was dependent on what's happening here. Now this collection of efforts is spread around the world. It starts with the lesson preparation, the lessons, the social times in each and every place, the meals. There are meals in each and every location. There are people who constructed the lineups and they chose excerpts. They created the Congress. It lives in our society. It lives in the hearts of the friends. There are friends who made efforts and bought a ticket and took care of work and disconnecting from home and focus only on Congress. This collection of exertion is infinite. It exists all over the world. And now we are already in the Congress. Even if the date is not here, we're already in this internal mode. So let us exert even more in our ten and the attitude towards us besides him and this additional exertion that each one of us can put in. Not give up. Let's continue together, friends. Hey friends, we're going to tell about the preparations happening here in the building in terms of production. Firstly, all preparation began about 2 months ago. Every single meeting begins from that in which we read an intention excerpt. That is the most important thing for us, to start from the highest point, and then we begin the preparations. And we start from that in which we first all open the registration and build a schedule. These are the 2 most important actions for us. From that point, we begin the process of meeting with all the friends, all the departments, and I want to express my inspiration from that desire of all the people responsible for 1,000 people on duties during this time of the convention here. With what desire they come, with what discernment and desire they come to take everything they can take from the previous Congress, and they want to improve it for the next Congress, and with this desire to serve the society, with this desire to annul themselves. That is the desire that accompanies them, and we have great appreciation for each and every one of these people responsible, and for all of these people, because with that intention that they have to be ready for the Congress and to bring them to a state where each and every friend, the single concern of theirs will be how to turn to the Creator so that we'll be able to connect. That is the powerful desire that accompanies them. So let us be inspired by how the basis department is preparing. Okay, Congress already started. It's paying already. There's a feeling we're already in the Congress. I can share with you. Sorry friends, it was a technical issue. We got everything as said. All that's left is to come to Jerusalem. We're building Jerusalem here just like every other location, and it will be in our hearts and between us. Now I heard the friends from the basis department. There are many friends all around the world who are preparing a Congress. Others a big system for many years they do it with. It's been working for a long time, and take and are going to Kazakhstan. There is expected to gather the 300 people who are graduates of MAC, students of MAC, which is the Academy of Kabbalah in Russian, and the team that's preparing the content. It's a global team which are gathering from all the nations and which are preparing the Congress. It's much harder, and it awakened a lot of inspiration. We've also taken this opportunity, and with TIC we're going to another Congress. We have 2 Congresses. We're privileged. We're going to be in Almaty for 1 day, in Baku in Zaban with the Elza group. That's also a bonus that we received from the Creator, and we want to bring all your hearts there and to ignite yet another bonfire. Now, my strong friend, we have a great delegation, over 30 people coming from here. We're taking the heart of the group and we bring it there too. Ultimately, we need to open this heart, bring the friends into it, and build a common heart with the friends, with all the power that will take place in the Congress. said the Congress gives us an intensity that allows us to open the heart, build a common heart, and attain the Creator. That's where He is revealed. So, we have high expectations to succeed in this Congress in many years ahead. We're going to remember where our kids are going to be thinking about the establishment of the nation where we were in 2025, and they'll be saying my grandfather was in the Almaty Congress, and my grandmother and grandfather were in the Ukraine Congress. We are building here something spiritual. This is the new era that we are entering. We should not miss any opportunity. The Creator will be with us from fear and love where we're investing our entire lives. It should help us make you happy and rush. The future of the Creator is to bring to the righteous, which is each one who's pointed to His with his finger, and He said here the Creator directed you. Tomorrow, May 18, 6:30 p.m, we'll have a gathering of friends as preparation for the Congress on the topic of rising together to the King's Palace. That's going to be the topic. Rising together, climbing together to the King's Palace. The gathering is going to take place physically in the centre and in their food system. Men and women 18 and up are invited. We're going to close with an excerpt from the Zohar Zor for all the prayers of the world. Selected excerpts from Zohar for all, except number 5. All the prayers of the world. Anyone who covers his sins and does not acknowledge them before the Holy King, ask for mercy for them, is not permitted to open the door of repentance, since it is covered from him. But if he details them before the Creator has mercy on him, and the mercies prevail over the deen, their judgment. It is even more so if he cries, since he opens all the hidden doors, and his prayer is accepted. Hence the confession of his sins is the glory of the King to make. The mercies prevail over the judgment.